Assalamu alaikum, guys, and welcome to the podcast. Today we have a very special scholar joining us from Qom, Sheikh Yassir Rajabali Ali Dina.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome salam.
Thank you very much, Hassan.
Thank you for
Pleasure.
giving us your time. You're on a tight schedule, but you still made time for us.
It's
Really
a pleasure,
appreciate it.
man. I'll
Thank
definitely
you
make
so
time
much.
for this.
So I was with him in a brisk like 2 weeks ago, and there's so many stories, but he's the person we go to for the most philosophical discussions. I would say debates if I ever stood a chance, but no, it's more of a discussion since he always destroys us. But yeah, we've had lots of memories together. And I'm really glad we could have this discussion on the podcast.
It's a pleasure, man. It's really nice. I can see the Brisk magazine
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Really nice to see that.
Yeah, I captured you on purpose.
Nice.
So the topic I want to discuss today with you is Hawza life. The decision of going into Hawza and how it can turn out for different people. First, can you give us your background on like when did you decide you wanted to go to Hawza and what was the process for you?
Yeah. I think it's very different for different people.
Yeah.
Personally, for myself, it started from a very young age. I was always passionate to study Islam. I still remember sitting on the lunch table with my parents and one of my uncles. I was 13, and the topic came that I want to go to Hausa, and my uncle was like, "No, no, no, you go to university, and then we'll see about Hausa." And I was like, "Ah, come on." So it's something that I've been passionate for a very long time, and Alhamdulillah. So basically, I went to school, did uni. I studied neuroscience in the UK, and then I went to Hausa, and I did that. My parents really wanted me to study in university, and on hindsight, I think it was a good idea because it gave me some maturity, intellectual maturity, so that I can make the most of Hausa life. Really, um, I didn't appreciate that at that time, but now looking on hindsight, I think it was a good idea. So it was a long journey for me. It was a lot of struggle, a lot of trying to convince my parents, please let me go. This is my passion. This is what I want to do. And in the end, Alhamdulillah, we came to a good compromise. They said you go to study in university and then you can go to Hausa. And Alhamdulillah,
Okay, so just backtracking a little bit. People like me and I'm sure some people who are watching are passionate about going to Hausa. Like we want to do it, we want to gain knowledge. We have different goals, but the problem is we consider uh, our plans are maybe after high school. If we could go to Hausa, that would be amazing. But we are worried, and our parents are worried. Okay, what are you gonna do in the future? You don't have a degree. How are you gonna make money? How are you gonna support your family? So that's a concern. I think it's the most
concern number one
exactly
for
exactly.
all
It's the
parents.
biggest
Yeah.
concern for all
Yeah.
of us. So can you just break it down a little bit more? Like how did you make the decision that okay, I want to go to university first and then do Hausa?
To be honest, whatever I studied at uni is not going to help me in any form to get money or to get a job
Really?
because I studied neuroscience. My field was a research based field, and if I disconnect from that for a year, not even more than that, just a year, I can't go back because it's research
It's very
basically. Right? You have to
niche.
be in it. So university doesn't always have to be for work or for gaining money. I think uni has a lot more benefits. It's there to learn. Firstly, I think one of the aims to go to uni is to learn, just to seek the knowledge, right? Um, it helps you learn a lot of skills. It exposes you to different aspects of life. So even if you decide to go to uni and then come to Hausa, don't necessarily think that the uni is going to help you get a job. It might not do that. So how do you earn money when you're in the Hausa? That's a whole different story. I think we need to step back and ask ourselves, why do I want to go to the Hausa? Um, and that I think solves a lot of the worry about the money issue.
Okay, so on that, why do I want to go to Hausa? So a lot of people imagine you go to Hausa, study for a few years, become a Maulana, give lectures, and I guess that's it. For me personally, I feel like I don't wanna become like have a mama and everything. I just want to go for a couple of years, gain knowledge about my own religion, get to know it in and out, be able to hold my ground against attacks on my faith. That's what's important to me, and spiritual elevation.
Exactly.
So what should the goal be, do you think?
Exactly, Hassan. So this is exactly what I wanted to get to.
Yeah.
That what's your goal in going to the Hausa? If you see the Hausa is just another university, but a university that specializes in Islamic studies,
Yes.
right? So going to the Hausa means you have a passion to study Islam academically, not study, not learn about Islam, things that are just relevant for your day-to-day life, right? These are two different things completely. It's like, just as an example, it's like if you have a stomach ache and I tell you go study medicine so you can, cure your stomach ache, and whenever you have a headache, you know what to do. Like, I don't need to study medicine academically to cure my headache or my stomach ache. There are other options out there specific for this
Okay.
need, right? When it comes to Hawza is an academic study of Islam. If what you want is strengthen your aqaid, if you what you want is gain spirituality, learn about akhlaq, these kind of things, then there is other ways out there to learn these things, rather than going to the Hawza. And so you can go down a career path that will get you money. You can do something that you really enjoy. It could be medicine, it could be engineering, it could be something in computer sciences, it could be anything like that, pharmacy, I don't know, whatever it is. And at the same time, you can gain your Islamic knowledge that is relevant for you in your life. And so you don't have to go to Hawza for that. But there's some of us, like myself, this was not enough. I wanted even more. I wanted to really dig into Islam, go into the text, into the raw text, the primary sources, and study Islam academically. That was my passion, right? So that's why I felt that Hawza was the right place for me.
Okay, so you suggested that if my goal to go to Hausa is just to gain knowledge for myself and to improve myself, I should rather do it alongside my secular life. Yeah, so do you think it's possible to be studying university and gaining the knowledge that I want simultaneously? Is it do I have enough time for that? Yeah.
Definitely, definitely have time, especially before you get engaged into bigger responsibilities in life, before you get married, before you get into like a work life, especially as a student, you definitely have time. It's a matter of organizing your time. It's a matter of time management. Um, Dedicate a part of your day, even if it's as little as like half an hour, to do some reading, to do some online course, to listen to some lectures. um, that itself can get you very far.
Do you think it's enough?
I think definitely it's enough. I think that we don't do that, and so we feel it won't be enough.
Mm,
But when you actually do it, imagine 365 days in a year,
yeah.
every day, or let's say every 2 days, you're reading a book for half an hour. You're going to go through books and books and books. You're going to go through online courses. At one point, you'll reach a point where you'll have so much knowledge, and you will feel that you will have so much knowledge. You'll be ready to, speak to scholars. You'll have better questions geared at scholars. You'll be spending time discussing with scholars. You will get there, right? The thing is, we never do it. We always talk about it, but we rarely actually put the time aside and actually do the reading, do the listening.
Mm,
And so the years pass, and then we feel like, but it didn't get me anywhere. If you ask yourself, did you really do it? And you find that, I'm not saying you,
yeah.
yeah, I'm saying generally this is like the trend. And I was like that when I was in uni. I was telling myself I want, and it was a passion, but because I didn't know about time management, I didn't take time management seriously. And we're young, we you end up wasting time with friends, spending time with friends, spending time on social media and stuff like that. And then after 3 years of uni, I felt like I didn't gain anything. But then I asked myself, really, did I actually put time? And you realize, no, I was goofing
I
around
know
more than I
exactly what you're
was.
talking about because Brisk finished 2 3 weeks ago, and we all of us were so excited and motivated. We bought a bunch of books and stuff, and sorry to say, but I'm not living up to my expectations.
It's
Yeah,
understandable. It's understandable. It
and
takes
discipline.
time. It's a matter of
Yeah,
striving, and inshallah,
inshallah. Okay,
will
so it's
come.
encouraging that we don't have to go to Hausa to reach our goals. In that, if we want to just improve ourselves. But what if my goal is deeper and, like you said, I found it academic and like next level, going to the raw texts and analyzing those. Um, and I decided to go to Hausa or live in Qom maybe right after school. Would it be possible then to do your secular studies online and work from there? How much time would you have in Hausa?
Um, if you do decide to do that, I would advise that you go for a university degree before you
Okay.
go to the house. Again, like I said, the least it will give you is that intellectual maturity. It will expose you.
But
You will have learned to actually
won't we get
study.
that from Hausa as well? You say Hausa is like an Islamic university.
Yeah, but actually, there's a lot of independence in the
Okay.
house, and you'll find that in the Hawza you're much more free, and so the risk of you not using your time
I
properly is much more
see.
than in
Okay.
uni, right? It's not like it's completely free, but there is much more freedom. Because if you come to the Hawza, you're coming with a passion to learn Islam, then in fact I think it's good to have that flexibility so you can make the most of it. But you first need like a base, a foundation in your own personality that will help you to make the most of that time.
So
So it has that positive, but
so
it also has the
university would
negative
be
as well.
like something to prepare you to make more use, a better use of Hausa.
I think so. I think it would be useful. And also, if you're smart and you like certain areas, like for example, optometry or pharmacy or areas like this that will allow you to work during the summers.
Yeah.
For example, you can work as a locum, for example. And I know some students do that. They study throughout the year in Hausa in summer because we get
Yeah.
long summers, 2 months to 3 months. Then they go back home and they work, and the amount they're able to earn in those 2 3 months is enough for them to live in Iran and even have a bit of savings sometimes, right? You've worked for 2 months like proper solid, and then you come back. So that's also a way you can use your
Mm.
university degree to
Okay, so
study in
if
the
we look
house.
into the day of a the life of a Hausa student, how much free time does it have? Does he have apart from the Hausa hours and his own studies, maybe if he's doing to pursue these things like freelancing and online
Yeah,
job?
yeah. So I was gonna say it's like asking still a medical student asking, "Can I study engineering as well?" It's like
Yeah,
you need to choose what you want to do in life.
but it's a necessity. I have to survive. I need
Yeah, you have
money.
to survive. But again, the medical student doesn't have to do an engineering degree to be able to earn money. He can earn money in his medical degree as well.
Okay.
When you study
Oh, okay.
when you
So,
study in Hausa, you're gonna get the knowledge, and ideally, if you get this, learn the right skills, then you can use your expertise as an Islamic scholar to find areas you can serve in the community, areas that can also be paid. Right? You don't have
mm,
to live a life of poverty just because you're a scholar. Obviously, money then is not the priority, right?
yeah.
So when you go down a career path, so even a doctor, ideally a doctor, his priority shouldn't be money. It should be to serve the people in the medical field. And alhamdulillah, at the same
Mhm.
time, he's gaining money. You'll notice some medics who are money oriented, they don't care about the health of their patient, and that's dangerous. So even doctors,
Yeah.
they go in the field to serve people, and at the same time, they earn money. A scholar is like that. He goes out there to guide, to teach people, and this can also be a source of income itself. I know it's a hard one to grasp because we know
Mm.
often we see scholars are not you know doing too well financially and so on. A part of it is natural. This is not a field that people are going to pay for much, right?
Yeah.
People don't yeah, people
Unfortunately,
don't value the knowledge and the spirituality that a scholar will give compared to the medical treatment a doctor will give. That's very natural. I don't think we
that's
should
true.
I don't expect more than that. But to a certain extent, it's also the fault of some of us where we don't go and learn the skills. And so we come
Mm.
to the community expecting people to receive us whilst we don't have the skills to give them what they need, right? If I learn how to teach, I can, with the knowledge that I can gain in the Hausa, and if I learn how to teach properly, I can probably go and teach in universities. I can teach in madrasas. If I learn how to manage projects, and I learn management and so on, which are skills that go hand in hand with Islamic scholarship,
Mm.
I can go and teach in madrasa or even lead a madrasa or lead a school or teach in a school. So there's so much you can do. It's a matter of you study and then you learn certain
Right. This
skills as
is a
well at
good
the same
segue
time.
to the next question. So this is like a long-term plan, right? Once you go to Hausa, um, if we go down the traditional route, how long do you think it take to reach that level where you can actually serve your community? Is it like university degree, 4 years bachelor's, 2 years master's, and then you're done, or is it more?
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tough question because it's very relative to your
Yeah.
purpose, to your objective. Um, so what they've done is right now they have made the Islamic course in a way that's equivalent to bachelor's, master's, and PhD. So the bachelor is
Okay.
about 4 to 5 years, master's is 2 to 3 years, and PhD is 3 to 4 years, depending on how fast you write your thesis and how fast you do your subjects. But um, like I said, it's very self-driven. You can have a student who studied for 5 years, but he's done the equivalent of 10 years because he's used his time really well. And you have students who've been there for 10, 15 years and, you know, he's not really used his time properly. He's not been too serious, and so so it's not just about the number of years. It's not about the qualification. It's really something. What
Right.
have you done, right? So you have to be self-driven. You have to work hard, and if you work hard, you'll see the fruits very
Okay.
fast.
I want to ask: is the traditional route the only route when you want to study in Hausa? Is there an option for getting private teachers and doing things at your own pace, and something that's more in your interest? For example, when my dad was in Hausa, he was taught mathematics for some reason. I'm like, you're here to study Islam and maybe Aqaid and philosophy. If that's your interest, can you avoid being spending time in things you don't like?
um, Again, I know you might say this guy's boring. He's saying the same thing, but it's a lot about your objectives. Is what are you seeking? See, in any field you go, there will be subjects that are really boring, and you just have to soldier through them,
Right.
right?
That's true.
If you're gonna do something, if you're gonna study Hausa online and look for a secondary way, not the, like we call it, the primary, the traditional way. Um, so what are you doing on the side? Is it another degree you're doing? Is it working? That means Hausa is not your
Okay.
primary passion, right? So again, it goes back to what do you want to do with this Hausa degree? Are you still looking for knowledge and spirituality? The first category, so then you don't need to do the Hausa studies, right? But if you're really looking to specialize into Hausa, then why don't you just dedicate yourself to it? In life, we have to make certain decisions to, and hold on to them and just, go for it. If Hausa is your passion, then do it. Don't be halfway. You yourself won't feel good, and after 10 years, 15 years, you feel like you haven't
Fair.
achieved neither this nor that. You know, I would even say take your time to make the decision. It's a huge life decision, right? Take your time. Give yourself a gap year. Go and test out the Hausa. Speak to scholars. Take that time out, and if you're convinced Hausa is the thing for you, then go for it. And if you're convinced it's not the thing for you, don't feel guilty that, oh, I'm not made for Hausa. Hausa is not for everybody. It's not everybody's cup of tea. And I did that for medicine. I was convinced before I got permission to go to the Hausa. I was convinced that if it's not Hausa, it's medicine. My dad's a doctor, and we're into that scientific mindset. And what I did was I did a 2 weeks work experience at a hospital. And coming out of the hospital after 2 weeks, I was convinced that medicine is not for me.
Wow.
I was convinced because the experience I had in the hospital, I saw this is not the life I want to live. I don't want to see this on a day to day basis. I don't have the capacity. I would have fainted in some of these places, right? I realized that I wanted something because I had an image of, oh, this is what it is. But then when I really saw it, I realized that, oh, it's different, right?
Mm.
Alhamdulillah, I took the time to go and look into it properly, and it proved to me that I'm not made for that. And there's nothing wrong with that. We don't all have to become medics. And it's not a failure to say that I'm not good for medicine. Same applies for Hausa. What is important is that you learn the knowledge, Islamic knowledge that you need for your life.
Yeah.
And that's your aqidah, your ma'arif, that's your akhlaq, that's your ahkam, the laws. You need to learn these things. That everybody has to do. It doesn't matter who you are, what your field is, man, woman, doesn't matter. These are your basics. You need to learn those. The rest, the Hausa studies, the academic ones, if you're not made for it, you're not made for it. It's fine.
Yeah. So I guess that's true. But if I wanted to try it out, if I had a gap year, would you suggest I just join the Hausa? So if I was starting off, I'd go to Al Mahdi, right?
That's
In
one option.
Mustafa.
Yeah,
So typically
that's
to
the
learn
main option. That's the
Farsi and
main option. Yeah,
Tamhidia.
yeah.
But in 1 year, my goal is to get as much Islamic knowledge as I can. I personally am interested in Aqaid and philosophy. So would I get what I want out of that year?
So definitely, you would spend the first 4 or 5 months learning Farsi.
Yeah.
Again, one of those things that may not be the most exciting, but
Exactly.
you
But
have
you
to
have
just
to do
soldier
it.
through it, right? Once you're done with that, then there's a normal official program that will give you a certain amount of aqaid and akhlaq and tarikh and stuff. Then you can get private teachers, and that's
Private
where
teachers.
you can get private teachers. I'm pretty sure. There's a lot of scholars out there that can give time.
Yeah.
So you can get private teachers. You can ask a Hausa to give you a course that's catered for you for, like, say, 6 7 months. You can find those options, and then that can give you a taster of whether you want to continue in the Hausa or not. And that's a good time also to speak to different people out there to get an idea of what you would expect to go through if you're going to stay there, right?
Right.
Farsi itself will help you understand if you're made for grammar and learning a new language, because the Hausa, the first 2 3 years of Hausa is mainly Arabic grammar,
Arabic
right?
grammar. Okay.
Yeah, you have aqaid, you have logic, you have other topics on the side, but the main Hausa topic you'd be doing the first 2 to 3 years in the
So
Hausa is
that's my
Arabic
concern. If I
grammar.
only have 1 year to spare, because maybe I can't afford to go to Hausa right now. I have to do university first, and I have one gap year, and I want to do as much aqaid and philosophy as I can. What do you think about going for only private teachers?
If you're there in that environment, I
Yeah.
think it's good. You get
Yeah.
a good teacher that can teach you well. I think it's a good idea. But I wouldn't limit yourself then, because you have so much time. I wouldn't limit it to just these two. I would say do some akhlaq as well.
Fair.
Definitely do some ahkam as well. Learn your ahkam properly,
Yeah.
and perhaps learn a few skills. Like, there's a few skills that will help you in your learning later on. For example, if you come to Iran to study, there are teachers that can teach you speed reading. It's a course, it's a 3 week course, and
Okay.
the rest is just about practice, right? So you can learn
Yeah.
speed reading, you can learn different skills like that that can help you in your learning Islam, and your learning in university as well. So the opportunities get open up a lot once you learn the language. So
Yeah.
and a gap year is definitely worth it.
Okay. So final question, just to wrap it up. How old were you when you joined Hausa?
I was 21.
21. So you finished your bachelor's and then you went
Finished my
to.
bachelor's in 3 months. I was in home.
Wow. And were you married?
I got married, and after 3 weeks, I was in home.
Wow. Okay. So how did that affect your studies? Being married and starting a
I
whole
think that
new
was
life
one
in
of the best
Hausa.
things that happened,
Really?
because when you're not married and you're very free, you end up wasting a lot of time. I think one
I
of
can tell you that firsthand.
I think one of the benefits of marriage is that it restricts you a little bit in a
Yeah.
positive way, not in a negative way. In a
Yeah.
really positive way, it helps you bring some discipline in your life. It helps you become a bit more mature. We waste a lot of time because we have that amount of immaturity in ourselves, so we end up not valuing that time. When you get married, and we've tried to marry the right person, a mature person, um, then a woman in our lives can actually help us become more mature, value our time more, become more responsible men, right? So I think marriage does help in that, and I felt that benefit. I was really glad that I went to Hausa after getting married. It
So
was We started our life together, basically.
so marriage first, then Hausa.
I
So
mean,
marriage first, then
it's a
Hausa.
good it's a good sequence of things,
Okay.
but I wouldn't say restricted. I would definitely say if you can get married, and like you have all the conditions to get married, and you found somebody who's suitable for you,
Yeah.
don't delay that for the Hausa.
Okay.
Definitely. But if you don't have anybody yet in mind, and you perhaps are not feeling ready for it, and the opportunity for Hausa has come up, then yeah, go for it.
Then would your wife be studying Hausa alongside? Or
Yeah, that's the benefit. So when you get married and you start this Hausa life together,
yeah.
you still don't have children. It's your early days, and so you're molding yourself together in the same environment, right?
Right.
Otherwise, there tends to be a gap. If the husband or the wife have studied in Hausa many years before, then to bring that balance takes a bit of time. But if you started the journey together, she's studying, you're studying and stuff, that's really nice. It helps.
Great. Yeah. And
Yeah, it's
sounds
really
fun.
nice. I mean, I sometimes I walk by the haram. I see people studying, and I go to my classes, and personally, I feel like I'm living a dream. I literally sometimes go, Alhamdulillah, it's so amazing. Even though physically it can be draining, a
Yeah.
lot of responsibilities, sometimes classes may not be as interesting as I would want. But overall, the experience for myself is really, really fulfilling, right?
Alhamdulillah.
And that's why I was saying that if you are looking for money, maybe this is not the option. But definitely, if you work hard enough at the Hausa, you won't be struggling financially. In fact, a person who comes to the Hausa genuinely for the Hausa and is not money oriented, you'll find that you're satisfied with the simple life that you can provide for yourself. Again, not poverty, but a simple life, and
Contentment.
you're still fulfilled and satisfied. And I think that's what we're all looking for. We're looking to be fulfilled. So spend good time looking for what you want in life. If that's Hausa, you'll enjoy it. If that's not Hausa, don't force yourself into it. Don't feel the guilt that, oh, I'm not really, if I don't go, then I'm not religious. No, you can be so religious and not go to the Hausa, right? So, yeah,
So I was just gonna ask you for a last piece of advice, but
I
you
think
already
that
gave it
was it.
like
I think, yeah.
exactly. So yeah, thank you so much, Sheikh.
So it was a pleasure.
I appreciate your time and it's inspiring. I feel like there's a lot of people, including myself, who are interested in this, but we don't know exactly how to go about it. So I think something like this is really good for clarification. Thank you so much, Sheikh.
So
And thank you guys for watching. Inshallah, see you in the next episode.